How's it going, everyone? My name is Graham, welcome to Two Left Thumbs, and today I'm going to do a review of Suicide Squad. I just saw the movie the other day, and I realized that after a year plus of hype, that expectations were like way up here, and then reviews came in, and my expectations went back down to here, and I went into the movie with the mindset of like, alright, don't expect anything big or game-changing, just like have fun with some wacky characters in like a action popcorn flick. And somehow I was still so let down. My god, this movie sucked. Fair warning, I'm going spoilers right off the bat, so if you guys haven't seen the movie and are worried about things being spoiled, there's not a lot to spoil in this movie, then you'll probably want to steer clear from this point out. The first 20 plus minutes of this movie just felt like a trailer for this movie. It was this dumb cobbled together montage where Amanda Waller listed off the criminals. It showed their faces. It had a bunch of crazy flashy bright colored text that I think they probably inserted later after the bright colors in the marketing were doing well. And they were, here's the characters that you need to care about, but here's no real reason to care about them. It felt as poorly conceived as that computer scene in Batman vs. Superman where Wonder Woman looks up the list of the metahumans. Listing off a bunch of characters doesn't count as establishing anything. You need actual background stories, preferably fleshed out in other movies. But if you have to do it here, at least be willing to commit a little bit of time to it. They did this with Deadshot and Harley, and they worked the best out of anyone in the movie because they actually spent some time on them. But nope, all they did was establish those two characters, so I think at that point it's no longer a team movie. It's just two main characters with some background characters. They actually spent so little time on Slipknot that it was funny when he got killed, because who didn't see that coming? It would have helped if they established some kind of rapport with the team. You know, what's that thing called? Chemistry. The first time they meet is when they're getting ready to go on their first mission, and it doesn't explain it right away, but their first mission is the big mission of the whole movie. They should have had a warm-up mission or two to build up some of that chemistry and to establish this team a little bit before throwing them into this chaos. I mean, it just made so many things feel so forced. I mean, the train wreck of a Fantastic Four movie at least had the foresight to make a 1-year time lapse where it's hey, here's how they learned how to use their powers and how to work together and stuff. It's a cop-out, but it's more than Suicide Squad had. So I liked Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, but what the hell was her plan? What kind of ill-conceived shit was this? From my understanding, the character in the comics is this manipulative person who uses bureaucratic ways to get people with powers to do things that she wants. She can effectively hang things over their head and coordinate things that way. In this movie, her plan was to be a good matchmaker and set up Rick Flag and the Enchantress so that she could manipulate them and then through that manipulate others. You're making a lot of assumptions there, Amanda, and what the fuck kind of plan is that? This is a little bit of a plot hole that seems a little bit unavoidable because of just the way that the movie works, but the Enchantress can just teleport any place she wants instantaneously, so I don't know how the hell Amanda Waller was supposed to keep that heart safe. She kind of did with her little briefcase or whatever, but I don't know how the Enchantress didn't just teleport in, steal it, teleport away, the way that she did with her brother's statue, which for some reason nobody was protecting. And then, as everyone should have seen coming, the Enchantress betrayed them immediately. Rick Flag hands her a bomb and says, "This has a 2-second countdown timer, activate it and get out of there." What does she do? She activates it, she teleports away, and then it shows Rick Flag phoning and saying, "Oh, we got betrayed." Yeah, no shit. But why didn't that bomb fucking explode? I don't care what your reaction time is. When that thing goes 2-1-0, you're dead. Presumably the bomb takes more to defuse than an on-off switch. That part irritated me so much. It hung over me for the entire next hour of the movie. I was mad about that. But the second the Enchantress betrayed them, why didn't Amanda Waller just stomp that moldy old heart and kill the Enchantress? Some people have said that maybe her brother was like healing her enough to keep her alive or whatever, but she seemed like a lot more than just like barely hanging on. Makes it seem like she didn't really need that heart that much after all. And Amanda Waller didn't even give a second try. She poked it a few times. Fuck, that didn't work, and then she just like gave up on it? I don't know. The Suicide Squad itself is a bit of a confusing concept apparently to these filmmakers, because I thought the point of this team was to assemble them for tasks that like elite government operatives couldn't do. So what do? They take the Suicide Squad and then they take a bunch of Navy SEALs and they pair them together. Why did you need the Suicide Squad then? Are you telling me that Harley Quinn with her bat and Captain Boomerang with his fucking boomerang are more capable than Navy fucking SEALs? And why did Rick Flag feel the need to withhold information from the squad? They're not willing participants. You don't have to worry about them getting scared and getting cold feet. They're there against their will. You might as well tell them everything they can so that they're as prepared as possible for this mission. But it was just a shitty way for the squad to get mad at Rick Flag and go storm off to a bar, even though he had his bomb in their head activating device the entire time. The second that they said, blow me, Rick, we're gonna go have a drink, why didn't he say, fuck off, I can just blow you guys all up? Instead they had him like begging for help, and it didn't make any sense. It was just stupid and just fucking pathetic. Then the shitty exposition in this fucking dumb bar scene was some weird attempt to make every single one of the characters sympathetic. Deadshot's not a bad guy, he loves his daughter. Harley Quinn's a victim of the Joker. Killer Croc is only a monster because you treat him like a monster. El Diablo just loses control sometimes, it's not his fault. It took the blame off of all of these villains, and I just didn't see what the point is. They're the bad guys. Why was it so wrong for them to just be evil? Did they really need to be some victim of some larger circumstance? Why weren't they just evil for the sake of evil? That dynamic would have been so much more interesting. But that's a change that can come later. First, I think you need some level of chemistry and any degree of plot structure before you can start worrying about stuff like that. And then, just like the movie, I have no real segue between the bar scene and the final fight, so I'm just gonna dive into it. El Diablo's transformation was such a complete waste. He just got pretty upset, and then all of a sudden, like mostly off screen, it turned this crazy Aztec fire demon. That should have been a fucking cool moment that they could have been building up to. They had flashes of text on the screen saying, "Extent of power unknown," when really they should have been building that up through the movie so that when he finally let loose, it was like, fuck, this is more than anyone had in mind. This is fucking sweet. Instead, it was just like, oh, okay, he's a big guy and he's fighting another big guy, whatever. And that cool moment was spoiled by probably the two shittiest lines in the movie. His first, like, I've lost one family, I'm not gonna lose another. You hid in the corner the entire movie. Why do you care about these people whatsoever? Then when he's a big fire demon, you said, you're gonna get it now, bitch! Or something really, really lame like that. Before I move on to more general things about the movie, I think DC really fucked up by Batman vs. Superman and this movie both having these unkillable villains. You can't have these enormous, huge bad guys in your, like, first couple movies. Marvel's putting in the legwork and building that up for, like, 10 years, and Thanos is going to get stretched across 2 movies. They're making the payoff earned. On to some more general stuff about the movie. The soundtrack was their obvious attempt to recapture the magic of Guardians of the Galaxy, but it just felt like someone threw on their iPod Shuffle from high school and stuck that in the background. It just jumped from song to song at whatever point, and like, it was clearly just, here's a list of popular music that people are sure to like that can just detract from the fact that not a lot is going on or nothing interesting has happened in a while. Now I want to get into the thing which is probably my biggest problem with the whole fucking movie, was the Joker. First off, they couldn't seem to make up their mind of whether he was going to be a main character or not. His presence was like, oh, Joker, he's here, oh, it's crazy. Oh, but he's gone now. We didn't have time for it. And that's just messy editing, and that has been revealed that they have so much footage of the Joker and stuff that they cut. And the very likely reason that they cut all the footage is someone late in the game probably realized, oh, this version of the Joker is fucking awful. I hated pretty much everything about him. The tattoos I've hated from day one that they showed the pictures, but really that's not the worst thing. I can get over that, that's fine. His whole mob boss thing, fucking stupid. I don't know what they were going with there, but another thing that I could maybe look past if the performance was better. Let alone the performance being better, they really needed someone who was going to play the Joker. I don't know who Jared Leto was playing on screen for those 2 hours, but it just wasn't the Joker. He never joked, he never smiled. His laugh was like a weird wheeze that just sounded fucking awful. I feel like Leto and Ayer, the director, looked at Ledger and Nolan's Joker and were like, wow, this dark, gritty Joker is such a fucking cool take. We want to do that, but we don't want to completely retread that same ground. So how can we make a dark, different Joker without just doing the same thing that those guys did? And they fucked it up. I don't know if Leto or Ayer are to blame, but they just completely lost sight of what the Joker's meant to be, and it was just garbage. It just didn't work whatsoever. From the sounds of all the cast interviews and stuff, this seems like it was Leto's concoction, so I feel like he's more to blame, but Ayer would be responsible for all the crazy tattoos and shit, and for not telling Leto that this isn't working, so they're both to blame. If this is what Leto was going to do, I would have much rather seen Jake Gyllenhaal in there after seeing his performance in Nightcrawler, or just take Troy Baker, who's voiced the Joker in Arkham Origins, and has the looks to pull off a convincing Joker. Just throw him in a live-action movie? That'd be fucking awesome. So the Joker was complete irredeemable garbage, but at least they nailed Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie did a fantastic job with her. The voice and the mannerisms and that whole dynamic seemed like it was lifted straight out of the comics. Her worst was when she was in scenes with the Joker, because there's no chemistry there, because I don't know what Jared Leto was doing, but he didn't give her anything to go off of. So Harley was just perfect. It's just a shame that she was wasted with such a shitty Joker. And apparently there were earlier iterations of the script and in filming and stuff where the Joker was a little bit more abusive to her, which is an important part of that character dynamic, and they edited all that out, so they got a little bit closer to the actual thing and they threw that away. Idiots. Viola Davis and Will Smith, who were Amanda Waller and Deadshot, they should get a lot of credit too, because they did a great job as well, especially considering the material they were working with. I typically don't like Jay Courtney. I don't know him from a lot of things, but I pretty much have never liked him. He was kind of funny in this movie. I actually found myself wishing that Captain Boomerang of all people had more screen time. Margot and Robbie deserve a lot of credit for breathing some life into this fucking bland script. The two of them pretty much saved the movie. The movie should have just been retitled to Harley and Deadshot, plus some other chumps that just happened to be there but didn't actually do anything. WB, DC, whoever it is, they just need to stop thinking short term, put in the legwork, establish these characters, build up that chemistry, and then worry about making these big team-up movies. Any big moment they try to build towards just doesn't feel earned otherwise. Luckily, they've brought in Jeff Johns, who's a really important, famous comic book writer for the DC universe, and hopefully he will get things back on track the way Kevin Feige's done for Marvel. I gave Batman vs. Superman a 6 out of 10, I think, 5.5 or something like that, because I felt like there was a salvageable movie hidden somewhere in all the edits and everything. This movie sucked. I gotta give it somewhere between a 2 or a 3 out of 10. I fucking hated this garbage. 3? I'll give it a 3, I guess. Apparently going into it with the mindset that it'll be a dumb popcorn movie just isn't enough to redeem the fact that it's not even a good popcorn movie. This movie just sucked. I can't recommend it whatsoever. Just skip it and hope that they kill off Jared Leto and just recast him for the next movie. Hey, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Did you hate the movie? Did you go see it and actually enjoyed yourself? Let me know. I'd be interested to hear. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon.